going on, everybody? Welcome back to GOAT Talk. It has been a truly crazy week for all of us. Can't wait to get into it. But first, rest in peace to Nick Mangold, who passed away at the age of 41 due to a kidney disease. Personally, I had the honor to meet him when I was younger at a football camp, and just a great guy on and off the field. So rest in peace, Nick Mangold.
Anything to touch on with Nick Mangold's passing, you being the Jets fan, that you'd like to speak to?
He was one of one for us. He was part of that line that kept us together during the Sanchez days. He was really kind of the heartbeat of that line. So it truly does suck, right? He was such a good dude from what I understood. I didn't know him, obviously, but kept that team going. Seemed like an awesome guy to be around, locker room leader. So he will be missed, right? Not just by the Jets organization, but by football as a whole.
And Jets were able to do the right thing yesterday, buy him and get the first win of the season, which was big. I think they did it for Nick and probably for also all the Jets fans' sanity, including Greg's. Lots to talk about today, as Joey alluded to. We are going to 4 topics here again this week, touching on, does the NFC road go through Green Bay for the Super Bowl? I think there's a lot of questions surrounding that. Secondly, the role of the backup quarterback and just its importance. I think we saw a lot of different things this past Sunday, and we've seen so far this year. Talk about the division leaders through 8 weeks. Will they be the same going into the end of the season? And then the NFL trade deadline just around the corner here. I believe it's next Tuesday. Who needs to make a move in a positive and also in a negative way to potentially help them for next season? First and foremost, kind of talk about the road through the NFC. After last night, Green Bay wins by 10. Jordan Love's kind of first game that we've seen him really be successful, more so this season. Do we think Green Bay is the team to beat in the NFC? Yes or no?
I say no.
I also say no.
I think they're a very good team. Don't get me wrong. You can't count out Philly, no matter how, we talked about last week, they've been playing the best. They look good this week. Kind of said they were going to come back for revenge against the Giants. Kind of saw this happening. But now with Saquon injured, you never know. It's crazy to say because last year he had a great regular season but kind of fell apart in the playoffs. Sal, you know this, but you can't count out the Seahawks, even with Sam Darnold. They're playing amazing football. JSN is playing like the number 1 receiver in the league right now. Their defense has been good. I think they're a dark horse for the NFC.
I think my dark horse for the NFC, and it's crazy to talk to them about like a dark horse because we were so high on them for the first couple of episodes. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I would say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, just based off of the rest of their strength of schedule alone. Like the last half, I have their schedule pulled up now. They have the Patriots next week, well, not next week, week 10. That'll be a good game. Then they have the Bills and the Rams, but then from there it's Cardinals, Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Dolphins, Panthers. So I think it very well could go through Tampa this year. I'm not saying, again, what Joey said earlier, that Green Bay is a good team. They proved that last night. They are a good team. Also, I think the Steelers may have been just kind of sliding a little bit the past couple weeks in, Steeler fashion. They'll always start hot and then they'll just kind of slide off face of the earth, be 500, get a wild card or get the first round of the playoffs and then just nothing from there. But I think the Bucs will be the one to watch out for in the NFC.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous with Tampa, and I'm a little nervous, I think, with Green Bay too. You look at both of those teams, like they really haven't truly played a team yet. Granted, Tampa played the Lions and they lost, another team that's right there. But like you look at Green Bay, like they beat Detroit week 1. I think if they played Detroit right now, they wouldn't win that game. Like, I still think the NFC is so wide open. I don't really think there truly is a team. I even think the AFC is. Like, I don't really think there's any team right now I can sit here and like confidently say, I think they're the best team in the NFL. I think there's qualities that say there are really good teams in the NFL. But if you ask me, do I think the Colts or Tampa or any of those teams that have 1 or 2 losses are the best team? No, because I think there's flaws in every team. I really don't know if there's anybody right now I could personally say that's running through there. Because you could have said the same about the Lions last year, and then look at what happened. Team comes in like the Commanders that nobody expected and just dog walked them in the divisional round.
Do you think that has a lot to do though with like like who their like injuries. Like, do you think that has a lot to do with like who? What am I trying to say here? Sorry, just scratch
I'm
that.
trying to
Scratch
say,
that.
like,
Go for it, Greg.
do you
Yeah.
think the teams that are playing well right now are due to the teams that are playing that have injured players? Like they're just
Yeah,
being
and
successful
also
because
like
of that.
it's only week 8 too,
Yeah.
right? Like we still have half of the season left, right? But and I feel like, and I guess I mean, I'm countering my own point in this because I thought about it when you were going at it a little bit there, Sal. But like the Bucks, like and I guess we'll get to it a little bit when it comes to the trade deadline. But like the Bucks offense, it's just injury after injury. Obviously, you lose Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, the rookie wide receiver Mbuka is hurt, so or is day to day questionable. So it's really like Baker, right at this point, and the running backs, and so I think that's going to be a team that is going to benefit from the weaker schedule. But who knows, in the trade deadline market, the way that some of the bigger teams are playing right now, who knows what's going to happen the next week or what their roster is going to look like.
Sure, for sure.
And I think like it's actually funny. I was actually talking about this with one of my buddies the other day. I feel like this is the first season that I've watched in a long time where I honestly couldn't tell you like who's good and who's bad. It's such a toss-up, crazy season so far that, yeah, like you said, it's only week 8. We don't know what's going to happen. And like you said, Sal, you brought up Detroit. That's another team who the Green Bay hasn't even locked up this division. Nowhere near locking up this division. They might not even win the division because Detroit's still there.
Detroit is literally only one or a half game back because they played one less game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They both have 2 losses. So, like, honestly, I could definitely see Detroit winning this division. Honestly, it's early enough where anyone can realistically win it. I mean, I'm sure the Bears won't win it, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of rolling into the next segment, Chris and I were talking about this before you guys got on, but like the role of the backup quarterback this year and like the importance that it's had. Like you look throughout the NFL, yesterday, nobody expected, I don't think, Miami to do what they did to Atlanta, especially after Atlanta played close against San Francisco, plays close against, not plays close, beats the Bills. Like they have some commanding wins. Like then Kirk Cousins comes in and looks like he hasn't played football in 10 years. Like, how important do we think across the line is having a viable backup quarterback if your starter goes down?
Critical.
Yeah, it's very, very important. I mean, I personally expected so much more out of Kirk yesterday. I really thought, I was like, all right, even with Kirk, you know, the Drake London was out. That's a big loss, but Darnell Mooney's going to step up. Kyle Pitts is going to step up. Bijan's going to have a monster game. Yeah, dude, they just got destroyed from the first minute to the last minute of the game. It was bad. But then you look at the Ravens and what they did to the Bears with Tyler Huntley starting. You know, they didn't get rid. They benched Cooper Rush. They brought in Tyler Huntley, and they went on to a commanding win in that. And now we're filming this on Monday, so tonight we'll see what Marcus Mariota can do against the Chiefs, who has not played bad since Jaden Daniels has been out.
I think, too, to your point, like you look at teams that have quarterbacks that teams that have quarterbacks that are in question. And like you look at the Carson Wentz news today, right? Like dude in London playing 2.5 games hurt. And there's a lot of criticism that everybody probably said about him, like playing the last 2 weeks, you know, and like we've talked about, I think the whole episode so far is kind of like we've discussed the injuries, you know, yes, can't make excuses for injuries, but they're going to happen, but you got to find ways to battle around that. And I think, you know, looking at a team like Minnesota, with the players you have on the team, you should not be playing the way you're playing. And you look at other teams, you know, to your point, the Ravens or even the Cardinals with Jacoby Brissett, like they're playing fairly well. They don't have a ton of weapons, but like a viable backup. Like I think there's just so many quarterbacks in the league that teams don't realize when your starter goes down, that guy behind them is not serviceable, that can derail your whole season.
Easily.
Your whole season. And I think just people underappreciate like who's in those positions because there are some backups that I don't think should be backups, or that maybe like Kirk Cousins, for example, like he definitely proved he's not a starter, but from a backup perspective, he doesn't even look like he can be a backup now. And he was a guy, 5-6 years ago on the Vikings throwing 34 touchdowns a season. So it's just,
I mean, look at that. Look at that contract. He like
I know.
what was the contract that Atlanta gave him too? And that
And he
was
was
a
fully
starting
guaranteed.
quarterback, right? Yeah. And so I mean, I'm spoiled. I the fans,
Really?
the listeners, they'll know. Like
You have
I'm a
no
Patriots
sympathy from
fan.
me. Nothing.
I know, right? And I don't expect any.
Good.
Like so, but the fact of the matter is, when we need a backup quarterback, like God forbid anything were to happen to Drake May right now, we're gonna rely on Josh Dobbs or Tommy Cutlets.
Hey, the Pastronaut over here. Okay.
But it's like it's important. I'm not saying that the backup quarterback's not important, because obviously if you don't have a quarterback, can't really win football games like at all, right?
Jets.
The Kirk the Kirk Cousins thing, that was atrocious. I don't like, it's literally like the Monstars in Space Jam. Like I don't know what happened with his football ability, but like you said, Sal, he like what was it 2-3 years ago he was on the Vikings throwing 30 touchdown seasons, right? It's so hit or miss with the backup quarterback, but I think like you look at the team like the Colts, like obviously they have Anthony Richardson, which hopes were very, very high with Anthony Richardson when he got drafted. I mean, he was the starter there for a little bit. And then you bring in a guy like Daniel Jones, where they literally flip-flopped. Like Anthony Richardson was the starter, and then was he on the Vikings when he was the backup or the super backup or whatever it was? And now it's totally flip-flopped. Again, a lot of it probably has to do with coaching. A lot of it probably has to do with the personnel he's throwing the ball to. But you also have to think like Anthony Richardson had the same roster out there, and he lost the job. But I feel like as a coach in that team, you're not like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. We have to put Anthony Richardson in as a backup. God forbid Daniel Jones gets hurt.
Yeah, and I feel like though there's a lot of there's preparation problems because like you see a team you see like Mac Jones, right? Like he's gotten revived with Kyle Shanahan, playing fairly well with the Niners. Couldn't do anything for the Jaguars last year, like wasn't great on the Patriots. Similarly to like Darnold, having a really good start to the season now, played phenomenal until he turned into a pumpkin late in the year last year, like just all these things, right? But then you look at a team like the Colts. If Daniel Jones were to go down, are you confident that Anthony Richardson can come in and play the same way? And like that's the thing. Like I feel like sometimes when you go from a starter to a backup, your whole mindset changes. You don't prepare the same way. You don't act the same way. Like I honestly feel like the backup quarterback is one of the worst spots to be in if you don't take the opportunity as a positive.
Yeah, I mean, and to prove that point a little further, look at the Bengals. Jake Browning was their backup. He played terrible. So they went and made an in-division trade to get Joe Flacco as their backup, who is now the starter with Burrow out. And given, they lost yesterday to the Jets, but he's played good for them. So the backup position is massively underrated because you never know when injuries are going to happen. And kind of like you, Chris, like if anything were to happen to Josh Allen, the Bill season would be toast. Like absolutely, like our backup is Mitch Trubisky, who we know he was a high draft pick. He started in this league. I wouldn't feel the worst about it because I think there are worse backups, but he's not Josh Allen. Like nobody's Josh Allen. So if he were to get hurt, our season's done. The backup QB is the most underrated position in the league, in my opinion.
You guys think? Go ahead, Chris.
It's interesting though. Like you look at a team like the Ravens, right, with the Lamar situation, and you bring in a guy like Huntley, and like he played a really good game yesterday, right? And like it's very interesting to see like how the dynamic of the team changes. Like what you were saying, Sal. Like I'm wondering if there is some sort of game plan, especially if you have a quarterback like Lamar, like Josh Allen, who is notorious for like being a runner. He's a running quarterback. Those dudes get on it, more so Lamar than Josh Allen. But it would be interesting to see like in the off season, in training camp, and even throughout the practice week, like if Lamar goes down, what would be what's the game plan. And I think a lot of that obviously falls on the coaching. A lot of that falls on the personnel that you put out there, the offensive groups, the wide receiver room. And I think the prep when it comes to that, I think they do work on that on a week to week basis. I just think it's just not league wide. I think some teams really focus on it just because they know the style of play that their quarterback has, like Josh Allen, like Lamar Jackson. Now Drake May is running the football a little bit more, right? But especially with Baltimore, like he's a running back that can throw. I'm not trying to bash on him. He's an amazing football player. He's the heart and soul of that team. But you kind of knew at some point this would happen with just the way that he plays, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think to your point, I mean, I think you make a great point. I think there's teams that are prepared for it and teams that aren't, because let's say Josh Allen, something bad happened, really bad. Season ending.
Knock on wood, Joey.
Let's stop putting this into the universe.
Like, there's a concern. Like, I'll put it back on the Vikings. Like, you go back to 2016, Teddy Bridgewater goes down, ACL, awful injury. They decide to trade to the St. Louis Rams a first-round pick for Sam Bradford. Starts the year 5-0. There's talks. Max Kellerman's like, they're the best team in the NFL. They're going to go to the Super Bowl. And then they literally win 2 more games the entire year. And it's like the same thing's happening currently with them. Like, there's teams that are so talented that if you don't have the right backup, whether it's coaching, preparation, whatever it is, it's over. And and I think that teams need to like think about that more. I think teams don't want to think their starting quarterback's going to go down. But in today's NFL, you don't know what could happen. Non-contact injuries, get hit in the head, break your arm, whatever happens. And then you bring in some quarterback that's like not it. Doesn't matter. It's over.
Yep.
It's just not good.
It's tough, right? Like, because you could be in such a great spot, right? You could be on such a high, and then it takes one wrong turn of the leg or whatever it may be, and the season is completely shifted. I know we're going to get into it pretty soon, but a certain running back we saw yesterday is having a great rookie year, and look what happened now. Just stuff just happens just like that, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, segueing into that, look at the divisions in the NFL right now, halfway through the year. You talk about a game yesterday, and we'll start with that in a division that has had a different division winner for the last like 14 or so seasons. Like, they've never had back-to-back division winners. And Eagles play the Giants yesterday. Cam Skattebo goes down, season-ending injury, just awful. Are the Eagles poised to now win that division?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I don't think you could have maybe last week made a case for Dallas, but then the way they played against Denver this week, who honestly, Dallas was my upset pick of the week. I really thought they were going to go into Denver and win, but the way they played, I just don't see that happening. The Commanders, obviously, they play tonight against the Chiefs, so that depends on that. And it also big depends on Jaden Daniels if he's healthy. But they're still a couple games back. And now the Giants, I think there's no shot. Skattebo's out. They got some injuries on their defense. It's kind of like still that rebuild year for the Giants. So I think the Eagles, they control their own destiny for that division.
So everyone's on the Eagles in the NFC East.
Yes, I think so. Talk to us in a week though, because obviously like the Saquon's a little banged up. Who knows what that Eagles wide receiver room is going to look like in the next week, right? Like AJ Brown could not be an Eagle by next, what would you say, Tuesday, I believe is the deadline. So Wednesday they could legit only have, I mean, it depends on who they pull in, everything, right? But I think it's going to be close. If Jaden Daniels comes back, I think the Commanders will make a good push for it. I'm biased against Cowboys. I don't want them to really win anything, but like it's so puzzling to me with that team. Like you look at the roster and you're just like, it's not a bad offensive roster. And then like what Joey we were talking about a couple episodes ago, Dak was your dark horse MVP, goose egg on Sunday, right?
Yeah,
So
he
it's
threw that
it's
right
it's
out the
like
window.
it's like I would say right now, present day as we were talking, it's the Eagles division. Talk to us in a week. Maybe by the next episode we record, it'll be a little bit different. And I think if Jaden Daniels comes back healthy, I think Washington will make a really strong push for that one spot.
Because, like you said, like the whole AJ Brown situation, if he were to get traded or not, he didn't play yesterday. They looked good. He didn't play yesterday. They have a 3-game lead on that division.
They're fine.
I
just
think
think
I
that
don't see it.
the NFL needs to get rid of the tush push. The NFL
Yes.
needs to do better officiating. That is clearly Thibodeau's fumble recovery.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna leave it at that because we can go into a whole half.
That's
hour
a whole.
on that.
That's a whole
That's a
hour long
whole-
special.
A whole
That
other
one.
thing. But I will say, instead of going by division, obviously we've kind of had the chance to look at the divisions right now. Like, what are your biggest, like, who do you think right now could come from behind and be like, I could see them winning the division? And there's no right or wrong answer, obviously, but like just not going by division, like just kind of like looking at where the standings are right now through 8 weeks. Who does anybody have anything that they think could be surprising that isn't currently where it's not currently sitting?
I
I
mean,
think the most interesting division, sorry, Greg, right now in the
You're good.
NFL
Yep.
is the AFC West. You have the Broncos on top,
Absolutely.
right? The Broncos are
Where I
6
was-
and
that's where I
2.
was going,
Chargers
Joey.
right back 5-3. Kansas City 4-3. They play tonight. If they win, they're 5-3. Vegas is out of it. But Denver, Chargers, KC, I think is going to be a battle and a week by week race that anybody can win that division. I think that is going to be the most interesting division to watch the rest of the year.
I could also see. I mean, you kind of stole my thunder there. I was going to say the Chiefs are like not a dark horse because they're the Chiefs, but
Yeah.
another division too, NFC West, right? Seattle and the Rams are both 5-2, with the San Fran being 5-3. Kind of like the Raiders. Goodbye, right? Same with the Cardinals, out, just irrelevant. But it's another 3-team race right there, right? Like that's anyone's division as well. The West is looking pretty solid. Not gonna lie to you.
I think
No,
the
and I
NFC
Yeah.
is so much better than the AFC. Like, even being a Bills fan, the NFC is miles better than the AFC
Yeah.
this year.
For sure.
And I think like another one. I think we talked about it early on. Like the NFC North is so up in the air too. Obviously, I mean the Bears and the Vikings are kind of sorry, Sal, but they're definitely in the bottom half of that division. But like you think of like the Packers and the Lions, like we literally started this show saying that the Packers does the road go through Green Bay, right? And then we mentioned the Lions, who are right there. They're 5-2, right? So I think that's also between those two teams. I think the AFC West, to your point, Joey, is gonna be a dogfight towards the end of the year, because you have the Broncos, because we were kind of on the verge of, are the Broncos kind of fraudy? Are they good? Like, we really don't know. And the Chargers are storming back a little bit. And obviously any division that the Chiefs are in, some voodoo magic's going to be done. They're going to be right in there at the mix at the end. And love my fiance, she's a Raiders fan, but like there's so much going wrong. There is so much going wrong with that organization, that front office, the personnel they're putting out there, the coaching has been dreadful. But that from top to bottom is probably going to be the most competitive down the stretch.
Looking at the AFC North. Okay, every year the AFC North, it goes down the stretch. And after what I saw last night from the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers, okay, I think that this is the Bengals or Ravens division to lose. Even with Joe Flacco on the Bengals, I think this is one of their divisions to lose. Now you look at their schedules; they haven't really played a ton of division games yet. But hear me out: the Bengals have already beaten Pittsburgh once. The only team with less than 5 losses currently is the Steelers. Okay, but if you look at the Steelers' schedule coming up, they have to play the Colts, the Chargers, the Bengals, the Bears, Buffalo, Baltimore, and Detroit. That is not an easy schedule by any means.
Mm-hmm.
That is not an easy schedule by any means. And I think that it will be the Bengals or the Ravens winning that division.
I think
Ravens
it's more
is a crazy
so the
ball.
Ravens. I think it's
Yeah, I
more
think
so
they're-
the Ravens with
Oh.
Lamar coming back.
Ooh.
Lamar comes back, the Ravens have a chance to go on a run. They're a
That
good team
defense?
with Lamar. The
They're gonna
Bengals
have to
defense.
win.
So this is where I was going with this. The Bengals defense looks like the worst defense in the league. Sorry, Greg, but they just gave up 39 points to the Jets. That is
That's
not
bad.
a good
That's really
defense.
bad.
Like
Horrible.
their defense is very, very bad. They had one good game against the Steelers, but they still gave up a lot of points in that game. That was still a high-scoring game. Their defense is brutal. Like I'm not even kidding. I actually think they have the worst defense in the league. I think it's the
I mean,
Ravens.
you have
get
the
Lamar
two
back,
worst-
They could go on a run.
You have the two worst defenses in the same division. It's going to be fireworks down the stretch. Like it's just it's
Exactly.
It's
So
what
at
it
that
is. What
point,
it
do you
is.
take Lamar Jackson or Joe
The
Flacco?
thing is,
Lamar
though,
Jackson.
The thing is, though,
That's fair.
is the Bengals have already arguably played their toughest schedule. The next toughest opponent that I think they truly play is Buffalo. Everybody else in their schedule is very winnable. Very winnable. They still play the Ravens twice. I think it'll come down to like those 2 games are going to decide the division. You guys can think I'm crazy, whatever, but that's what this
They're not.
podcast is meant to be, right? It's not
I-
meant to
They're
be.
not. If
It's-
Lamar Jackson is back, that defense is not stopping the Ravens. And since they just gave up 39
I'm
points
just
to the
saying,
Jets,
if we are
if
here
the
in week
Bills-
12,
if the Bills offense played how they played yesterday, we might put up 80 on that offense, considering the Jets just put up 39.
if we sit
Jump in.
sitting here in week 12 and the Bengals are atop the division, I'm just going to say, told you so. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I just looked up the
Will not
stats
be
too.
saying that.
They actually have the worst defense in the NFL points allowed.
Yes,
Right next
their
to them,
defense
though,
is
right next to them
brutal.
is Dallas, which I love, by the way.
Their defense is so bad.
Yeah, I mean,
And
39 points to the Jets is like 60 to another team. It's bad.
Listen.
Yeah. And like I just said, how if the Bills offense played how they played yesterday, kind of want to jump to that, Chris. This division is not over. This
Okay.
division is not over.
No, it's not.
If
No,
the
no, it's not
Bills,
over.
if the Bills play how they played yesterday, our offense and our defense finally looked like they were good yesterday. The Bills are back. First off, let me just throw that out there. The Bills are back. And the only thing I have 3 words for you, Chris. Let James cook. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a monster.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this is personal now, Joey, because we go from talking about the shit ass Bengals and Ravens, and now you were just throwing bombs about the AFC East. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, we'll see how it
I
goes.
will say James Cook saved
Dog.
my fantasy season
Dog.
last dog, absolute dog.
Here's the thing.
However, oh, dude, no,
Here's
you're
the
good.
thing. No, go ahead. You're on a run.
However, I think the Patriots showed us a lot yesterday because, and I'll be one to say it. I'm a Patriot critic. I did not think. I barely thought we were going to get 8 wins this year. Maybe 8 wins this year. Look at us now. We're 6-2, leading the division. I not that saying that this is crazy because I know Greg is just like on a burner right now this week. But like you look at what that offense did to Browns defense. Drake May got sacked 5 times and we still put up a 23 piece on him. Like
all by Myles Garrett, by the way.
I know, which
Yeah.
that whole situation we could talk forever about, but I don't know. I think we're going to be throwing bombs late. That's another division. I mean, obviously the Dolphins and the Jets. Like Greg probably thinks the Jets are going to win the division.
Don't count
after
them out.
yesterday,
Don't count them out yet.
but I think that's going to come down to the last couple of weeks.
I think you guys have the advantage in the easier schedule going the rest of the way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You
Absolutely.
you definitely do. That's going to help you out a lot. we got Josh Allen, bro. I don't
You-
care.
you-
we got
You
Josh
can
Allen.
argue that, but you can argue that's why we're in the position we're in right now, is because A, we beat your Bills, and then B, we have like we're playing. I don't want to say trash because like every week for me feels like
You're
a trap
playing
week
trash.
at this
You're
point.
playing trash.
But
right
we're
now.
playing trash except for that one Bills game and the Bucks game. That's that's
You have the
it
Ravens.
could be
You have the
anybody.
You have the
Ravens on your
Ravens.
schedule. You have
Ravens
the Ravens late in the year. Lamar's
got-
definitely going to be back.
And you got Atlanta. Now, if you play the Kirk Cousin or or the Kurt Cousin Atlanta Falcons, then
Exactly.
you might. But if you play the Michael Penix Falcons, I don't know. But we'll see where that goes. All right, one player that you guys each think needs to be traded or that is going to get traded before we close out here. No
AJ
right or wrong
Brown?
answer.
Or I'll start off with the easy one, I guess. AJ Brown.
Okay, Greg. Greg.
I'm kidding. I'll get someone else. You guys go first, though.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know,
so Chris,
I had a wide receiver, and now I'm
so
blanking on it.
Chris said AJ Brown.
Oh,
Greg.
Chris Olave.
Okay, Chris Olave. Greg.
Hang tight. Someone go first.
We already went
All right,
first.
I think one player
Oh.
that could get. Go ahead. No, you have it. Go ahead.
I mean, honestly,
Don't say Justin Fields.
that did cross my mind once or twice. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't actually know. This is like so up in the air for me. In all honesty, right? Because you look at the Jets and they can trade whoever they want and they're gonna suck. So it really hasn't been a big factor for me, in my opinion. I'm gonna go along the lines more and think about what team as a whole needs to make moves rather than a specific player. Right. So like I'm trying to think of what teams are like kind of in that mix but could really benefit from something big. Right. And I think one of those teams honestly might be the Patriots, with them being on a heater, right? Get something big, right? Maybe nothing, don't give up something in the long run, but something to get them going if they keep winning some games.
I say Max Crosby needs to be traded out of.
Yes.
The
Like that.
I think he needs to be, but I don't think he gets
Yes,
traded.
that's why I said needs. That's why
Yeah.
I think he needs to be like he could be a Micah Parsons on a like if he went to the team like the Bills or the Vikings or the Patriots, like a team that has an established defense already, he's going to do what Micah Parsons is doing in Green Bay. And that's he is, you want to talk about a guy's prime being wasted right now? Like that is the epitome and example of it. I mean, it's just Max Crosby. But we have reached the portion in the episode where we are finally able to say that Greg's bald bet of the week is here. He's 1-0 this past week, 1-2 on the year. Greg, what is the bald bet gonna be?
All right. So after some thought, right, I'm gonna go back to a team, or actually multiple teams involved in this one, right? It's gonna involve you, Joey. Tomorrow or Sunday night's game next week, Chiefs and the Bills, right? We know how those games have gone in the past, right? They've been some pretty intense, wild games. I think it's going to be kind of like an encore of those games they've had. I think it's going to be one of the games of the year. So my bald bet, almost forgot. Right? I think each team's going to score at least 30 points total, right? So I think it's going to be a shootout, even though defenses for them are not like atrocious. That's not the Bengals and the Cowboys, but like I think it'll be a shootout. I think the Bills come out on top, but I can see it being like a close game, but a shootout.
So what's the bet?
The bet is the over is 60 points combined.
Okay. So
Yes.
you're going over 60 points
And
is
a
the
Bills
bet.
win.
Wow.
And a Bills win.
Okay. So you heard it here first. If you want
I love
to
it.
place your bets, Bills win, money line Bills over 60. I don't know what the over under is yet, but that's what it is. Greg's setting the over for ESPN this week.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
can
it
tell
is.
you what it is
Bald
right now. The
bet does
over
not
under
lie.
is 51.5.
All right, so we're close. We're close there. It's not out of the question.
Li-
Well,
listen,
Greg, we'll see what happens.
it's
we'll
Josh
see.
Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Sure.
Anything can happen. And if you want, go to the game. You can check out our friends at SeatGeek, as you can use GoTalk for $20 off your ticket purchase to go see Greg's bald bet hit and even a 2-2 on the year.
I would like to say one thing about last week's bald bet. The chaos in the group chat when Jonathan Taylor had a run of -3 yards.
I didn't.
And we were sitting at 149, baby. Oh, the boys were sweating, everybody. Oh, my God.
I thought I was going back to the ER.
Yeah.
What a week. What a week for Go Talk.
What a week.
All right, Joey, do the honors.
All right. Well, everybody, real quick before we sign off, I just throw a congrats out there to all the LSU fans for finally firing their coach. Great move. It was way overdue. With that being said, thank you everybody for tuning in. If you're coming back, we appreciate all the support. If you're new here, like, comment, subscribe. We are live on TikTok every Thursday night for Thursday Night Football. Possibly going to do some more Sunday morning ones for some fantasy talk. And as always, go Bills.